Throw your hands in the air if you're real as me. Ooh.
Welcome back to the MBH Podcast. Money buys happiness. Miami buys happiness. Everything buys happiness. We got an exciting guest in the house today. But before I get into that, keep liking, keep subscribing, doing the fucking duties. You guys are running up the merch. It's fucking crazy. We appreciate all the support. We love you guys. Keep it rolling. We're going to keep it rolling. Anyways, in the house today, we got Daniel Snow, the founder of the Snow Agency, at Rap, and Creative by Kindred. What's going on, brother? How are
AKA
you?
Dapper.
Yeah.
We're just talking about that.
Man,
what a fucking username.
What a fucking IG name, dude. Crazy.
Yeah, thank you for having me, guys.
Yeah, welcome to
course,
the
man.
show, dude. We're excited. Great background, like pretty similar to like ours and what we do. So maybe for anybody that doesn't know you that's listening, a little intro on yourself, who you are, what you do, all the good stuff.
Yeah. So should I mention what I'm doing now? Like what the whole
Yeah,
background?
go nuts, man.
Cool. Yeah. So like they mentioned, currently I'm working on building Rap TV and the Snow Agency, which is a full service marketing agency. We focus on e-com brands. But I've been in the digital space for almost a decade now.
Crazy.
I got started when I was in college, actually.
Yep.
Growing these. I first found out I got into online social media marketing. My friend told me during my sophomore year of college, you can make money on Twitter. I was like, what? You can make money on your phone? That's fucking crazy.
Of course.
So he told me he was making $45 a week, and I was like, damn, like I could go out on the weekends now. That's cool. I could buy some drinks. So that was how I got into it. I saw him at the gym, left the gym, made a actually fitness Twitter account in the parking lot, and then that's how I got into it. So I was growing a following, eventually learning how to monetize it, which then got me into apps, e-commerce, affiliate marketing, lead gen, all different types of stuff like that. And then in the next 2 years, just scaled that up. So in the next 2 years, had 20 million followers on Twitter. Content blogs too. Had a lot of success and everything I just mentioned. So I had 3 apps in the top charts in the App Store.
Jeez.
Free and paid. We had a content blog that was doing a few million visits a month. And then I launched this one of the first kind of performance-based platforms that allowed influencers and theme page owners to monetize their accounts.
Okay.
So launched that summer going to my senior year of college. Actually, while I was studying every day to be a dentist, I was studying for the DATs. So I was literally going to the library, studying for the DATs, launched this platform. It blew up. We had over 3,000 people using it within a year. Clear by the time that summer ended, I wasn't going to be a dentist.
Yeah, no shit.
It was our platforms were doing a few $100,000 a month in revenue. Anyways, and that's what then got me into e-commerce and all this other stuff. Was from that platform because we just had so much insight into
How are you monetizing at that time? Like, what year was this? Can you give some insight on when this was?
So I started December of 2012.
Wow.
I launched the platform May of 2014.
Beauty, bro. And how are you monetizing at that time?
The platform?
Yeah.
So it was self-serve in the sense that we found all the advertisers.
Okay.
Ranging from lead gen, could be like pay per lead, like phone calls, stuff like that, to fitness ebooks, to muscle pills, diet pills, makeup.
That's amazing. And how are you growing the actual platform? How are you guys trying to do that? How are you guys growing it at that point?
So kind of like even how you just mentioned with like the proof of concept. So I mentioned I had a huge following.
Yeah.
And I was pretty influential in the community of publishers, so to speak. So as I started using these ads to monetize my own accounts, naturally everyone started asking me, what are these ads? What are these ads? What are these ads? And it's like a monkey see, monkey do effect.
Of course.
Yeah.
Once I started, then everyone else started, then everyone else started, and then everyone wanted it.
They got to see it to believe it sometimes. Yeah.
And then, so once I moved, eventually we had a large majority of the large pages on Twitter using our platform day to day to monetize. Then naturally we wanted to move to Instagram.
Of course.
This was pre-algorithm on Instagram too, 2014.
Wow.
So how we got started was buying shout outs from all the large pages.
Okay.
And eventually from influencers and celebrities. And after we were spending, thousands or tens of thousands of dollars with them, we're like, you could just sign up for this platform and just do it yourself. Like obviously every time I'm paying you, I'm making money off of you.
Of course.
Instead, you can post whenever you want. You can post more frequently, more offers, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
So that was a huge way we got a lot of the Instagram community.
That's early on too. That's like very early.
Yeah.
That's unreal.
I
Okay, so
2014 was like, no, 2010 was the beginning of Instagram. But yeah, that's early. Like I'm curious. Like what was the strategy in terms of like promoting the actual business itself? Like was content a big thing? Was it just outreach? Like,
so we never it was all word of mouth.
wow.
And literally just doing the strategy I said.
Yeah.
So another big way was we gave a great referral bonus to people who referred someone to our platform. It'd be a lifetime cut of their earnings. So that really incentivized people to get other people involved because they saw how much money they were making. They're like, oh, if I can get someone else like and make 5% at the time, that could be pretty substantial, which it was. So those are really the three main methods we used to
push
get people on our
did
platform.
you have any competitors at the time? Like anyone?
Yeah, there was like 2 or 3, but
you guys smoked them.
Yeah, we did pretty well. But eventually it became a lot harder because a lot of the affiliate marketing and all this other stuff that we were focused on, Instagram, the algorithm came, which changed a lot of things.
Of course.
Instagram compliance. They didn't like a lot of the affiliate marketing and like all these tracking tools we were using. So they started blocking links. And
those are like the third-party tools, right? Oh yeah. Okay.
And I saw that I definitely didn't see myself doing this platform forever. So I noticed, I was like, we can essentially get traffic to anything. So and have full control. So I was like, oh, that e-commerce, it seems like the next thing to focus my attention to, and that's what inspired me to start launching my own brands.
Of course. Okay, so when does Rap come to life at Rap?
So I had 20 million followers on Twitter.
Jesus
on all
Christ.
these
That's
random
insane. That's insane.
on all these, not like Daniel Snow, but like all these random accounts.
Of course.
Fitness, funny accounts, confession accounts were like a big thing back then. And then when my platform moved to Instagram, I wanted to build my own following. So funny enough, I actually created the first World Star account on Instagram before
For
they
real,
created it.
eh?
Yeah, and that account gained 1 million followers in 2 months.
And you're just posting like fucking like what was it at that time? Fights and shit, like fucking songs and shit?
Not like that. But
Okay,
it was just like like viral, funny content.
Okay.
Yeah,
Dope.
okay.
Memes and videos, stuff like that.
Dope.
Anyways, so Rap came to be a year after, so it was 2016, and we had an audience that, I already had a few pages now at this time, probably had, 5 million followers or something on Instagram. And I noticed, well, number one, the e-commerce brands were taking off. Goat Case was our first brand, had done 10 million its first year.
Jeez.
We launched another brand, Perfect Sculpt, did 22 million its first year. So I was like, I want to focus on building these brands in e-commerce, and like these pages are just like a little distraction.
Yeah.
But I already had just launched Rap, and the 2016, like I mentioned, the inspiration behind that was I noticed that, well, number one, now my focus went from like short term to long term. What are things I can build that could have long term equity and growth? So I wasn't interested in just building a meme page or whatever, or just an audience.
You wanted purpose.
I wanted to build a brand.
Yeah.
So I noticed that a lot of rappers were record labels, the bigger artists weren't paying any attention to this, but a lot of the smaller independent artists were starting to leverage the meme pages, the funny pages, all that stuff on Instagram to grow their following, to get streams up, get signed to a record label. Yeah. And I thought that, well, once I realized that, I noticed that there's no Rap account, number one.
Yeah.
Number two, Rap was really evolving on social media. And there's just like an ever growing amount of content for it. So I was like, oh, we can have original content. We have the advertisers, and I kind of already have the audience.
Yeah.
So I figured that could be pretty meaningful in building a real brand and eventually being able to work with the larger artists, the record labels, and having advertisers advertise organically where people wouldn't even see it, which would be the best type of brand to grow. So that was the inspiration behind it. And I always kind of actually had it on the side, believe it or not.
Okay.
And really over the last 18 to 24 months, when we started expanding on all the other social platforms, is when the company just really blew up. And now like just everyone in the music industry knows how important it is to invest a ton into focusing on social media. That drives everything.
So I'm curious, how the fuck did you guys lock in the IG name? Because like,
so I knew someone who already had it. Actually, he was on my platform, and I'd met him in person and all that. He wasn't using it because there was no rap page at the time on Instagram. Believe it or not, we were the first one.
Crazy.
That's crazy. Well, yeah, like at rap, like Jesus Christ.
Well, you're talking about what? 2015, 2014?
Yeah, 2015, 2016. So no one was covering rap news. Like we were literally the first ones to do that. Like even the rap outlets weren't doing it.
Yeah.
Damn, and you see a lot of that now. You see a lot of artists.
Thousands.
Yeah, you see a lot of artists leveraging these pages like rap, I guess, right? But you guys are probably the biggest one, the biggest rap.
Oh yeah,
community
we're not just on Instagram, but just on
All
say on
socials.
the internet. Yeah. We have close to 40 million followers.
That's crazy.
We're doing close to 2 billion impressions a month across our network.
How much content does that involve being put out on a daily basis?
You're gonna sound like Gary Vee right now.
A lot. I don't know. A post on across all our socials, like over 100
That's crazy.
Damn, a day?
a day. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Plus, we're doing articles. We have original content. We have shows with Snapchat. Now we're doing campaigns with some of the bigger platforms. Like we're doing a TikTok campaign right now. We're doing a Facebook campaign right now. We're throwing a show on Friday and Saturday at South by Southwest with Rolling Loud.
Wow.
So now there's all this other stuff going on as well.
So you're just leveraging these networks as you go. I want to go back a bit. You said you mentioned you had 2 e-commerce brands.
Yeah.
Right? That kind of took off. Which brands were those?
One was called Goat Case. That was a phone case.
Okay, dope.
Phone case I can like stick to things.
Yeah.
And the other was called Perfect Sculpt. It was a women's shapewear
Oh, dope.
activewear company.
And those just fucking took off?
Yeah.
You were just leveraging all the socials you had and just
Not
promoting
just
it?
I wasn't leveraging my socials, but I was leveraging everyone else's.
All the influencers.
Everyone else. Because think about it, we had 3,000 people on our platform, and I was able to see who drives the most traffic, what type of content works. So I essentially quantified all that, Twitter and Instagram, and we had just literally 6 people buying shout outs all day long, buying 100 shout outs a day.
So when did you like, okay, I guess at first it was just you, right? You're solo.
It was
you
never
had no
actually just me.
No?
So
you had a partner?
I always had partners.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask. Even with rap, like
When actually Rap TV, there is no partner. I was the only founder.
Wow.
That was actually the only company that I was really the only founder on. But I always liked having partners because it's someone to lean on, someone to help in ways help your weaknesses and vice versa. So I always worked well working with partners. But even early on, whenever I was building a company, I made a mission to hire day one.
Yeah.
You know.
And what do you look for when you're hiring?
It really depends on the role, but at the end of the day, I think that some of our my best employees, my most valuable ones, loyalty is obviously one, especially in this job market, which is just insane. Like, I think also passion is equally as important. It's hard to day in, day out work if you're treating it as a job.
Yeah.
The people is like, it's 6 p.m. Why are you messaging me? Like, what I mean? Like, those people don't last. Those people aren't top performers because they're not passionate. They don't love what they do. If you love what you do, and like, of course, like, I'm not saying you work 24/7 around the clock, but it's like, it's not an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I think passion is one of the most important things.
Okay.
Someone who's coachable too, who takes criticism and uses it to better themselves and is open-minded in that aspect, has been equally as important for growth and personal growth and even career growth, etc. And then just people who can just figure it out by themselves, people who are independent thinkers, can work autonomously. That's like what I look for. Your
top employees and stuff, obviously, because of this current job market, people can just fucking, like, you know what I mean? Like,
they're always looking for the next.
They're always looking for the next thing, right? Who's gonna pay me more? Where do I have to work less? Usually.
Yeah.
So what do you do to keep your, let's say, your top performers, your best employees? What do you do to keep them motivated, keep them in love with the vision and what you're doing?
So number one, for top performers, growth I find is the most important thing. So it's like if you have a growing company, typically they can keep growing because more and more responsibilities open up. And I remember reading something like that one time, is like a company can be judged by the growth of their own employees internally, because obviously it means the company's growing. So it's like, it's the CEO's job to ensure that the company is growing. So it's like if that is there, then there will continuously be more responsibilities for people. So like high level, that's the most important thing. But like from bottom up, what we've done day one is trying to put what I call a transparent growth trajectory in place, so they know what that tier looks like for them to level up in the company and beyond. Because before we had that, it was very ambiguous. It's like, when do I get a raise? Like, then then it puts them. It's like, well, I want a raise now. I want more money now. But it's like if you put that in place, now it's transparent as to what to expect, when to expect it, et cetera. So that's been super helpful in my company. The other thing is just the ability for them to continue learning and developing new skill sets on the job.
Yeah.
When the job becomes super monotonous and there's no more room to learn, then top performers feel stagnant, even if the company's growing. Because if they're doing the same things, they're not growing as people.
Yeah. True.
So that's another really important thing that I've found as well is keeping that top of mind. And finally, is really just communicating with them, like something that especially when your company's growing, gets so bogged up in day to day, but just communicating with your team members and asking them how they're doing, what do they see, what do they want, where do they want, just keeping that open line, is so crucial, and it always amazes me every time I find out information just from those simple conversations.
That's crazy.
I
Yeah,
love
it's
that.
true.
With no agenda, just talking.
Yeah,
To them.
just as like fucking human beings.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's unreal.
So when does the agency come along?
So I sold my brands in 2019.
All of them.
Yeah,
Minus rap.
ecom brands.
Yeah. Okay.
Ecom brands. Okay.
And we realized that we after 2 or 3 years of selling phone cases and bras and waist shapers, whatever, I was just like, this is just not interesting to me anymore. Kind of like what I just mentioned in the top performers. Like I'm doing the same thing over and over and over again. What I enjoy most is advertising and growth, that like ability to start, launch, scale across many brands. So I was like, the agency seems great for a lot of my interests. I love meeting entrepreneurs. I love working with them. It gives me the ability to grow an actual multifaceted organization that has a lot of different people in it that can have responsibility, and they can have more trajectory because, it's a lot easier when you remove just having so much inventory. So the cash flow gives your company the ability to scale and invest in your people more, because people are literally everything in agency. So I realized that based on a lot of those things, it could be interesting to me towards what I find exciting.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the inspiration behind when I pivoted from brand owner to agency owner.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you were kind of sort of doing it yourself, right?
Yeah.
So at that point, like you have proof of concept, proofs in the pudding. You have these brands, you've blown them up, you sold them.
Yeah.
You already know what to do, right? So, okay, so talk to us about a little bit about the agency. How many people are involved? What's the background with it?
Yeah. So we are September 1st, 2019 is what I say was when we were full time on it after we sold the brands. So we're about 2.5 years old now. But a lot of people had been with us before that when we were still launching brands. So we have 65 employees now.
Wow.
We were actually up to like 90 at one point, but decided post iOS 14 to get a lot leaner and more efficient in a lot of ways. So we are, like I said, full service. So we have departments that focus on media buying. So Facebook ads, Google ads, YouTube ads, Snapchat, TikTok, organic social management. So once again, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all that. Email, SMS marketing, web design. I mentioned we have a creative studio that does photo and video production. So pretty much all things a brand needs to grow on digital today is what we help with.
From the top to bottom, yeah.
Yeah,
Damn.
I want to ask you a question, just because you were building e-commerce brands at a time where I think that there was a lot less competition, obviously. Was it more difficult now, then or now, do you think, to start an e-commerce brand?
So there's always been a lot of competition, and every year people always say it's getting harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when it's now, people say it's hard.
Yeah.
People
It's
always go back to 2017. People were referencing 2014.
Yeah,
true.
it's true.
It's true.
2021. People are referencing 2017, 2018.
Yeah.
So I think the digital landscape is just going to continuously get harder
Mm-hmm.
as there's more adoption, more people realize how easy it is to do anything digitally. And that's why, CPMs are increasing because there's just more people every single year.
Yeah.
But every year people say, oh, it's getting harder and harder. So for sure, it's way freaking harder now.
Yeah. But you have more tools now as well to get it out there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Technically.
There's a lot more tools. There's a lot more tools at advertisers' disposal. iOS 14 really impacted the whole advertising industry. Honestly, 2021 was the best year for e-commerce I've seen ever.
Yeah.
Wow. And why is that?
Um,
Why do you think it is?
a lot of things, stimulus, obviously. So that everyone had just tons of free money.
Yep.
CPMs were dirt cheap because a lot of if you remember, even there was a lot of political stuff even going on. Huge brands were pulling budgets.
Yep.
Yeah. True.
Brands during COVID, a lot of bigger brands were pulling budgets because they're like, oh, we don't have we don't have retail stores. We're not. So it opened up a lot more inventory. So CPMs went down, conversion rates went up because there was more money, and everyone was at home just buying shit online.
Yeah, just spending
nonstop.
money.
So it was like the perfect storm for everything for e-commerce, and that's why they said, e-commerce in 2021 did what it was supposed to do in 10 years in 1 year in growth.
Damn.
So
That's
it was
crazy.
amazing. But 2022, things have gotten a lot harder.
What kind of advice do you have for someone maybe starting an e-commerce brand in 2022 right now?
I would say number one, customer experience is everything.
Yeah.
So if you're, before you can quickly launch a store, make money, drop ship, whatever, it didn't matter, and keep doing that. Now it's everything. Customer acquisition has gotten so hard that if you're not building a brand that customers love and want to come back to, you're not building a sustainable brand. It's gonna eventually stop working.
Yeah.
Because you can there's diminishing returns are more than ever right now for advertising. So building a product, I would say, in my opinion, that has high retention of customers, that has a feature in it that allows customers to come back and buy more products, is what I'm focused on.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't like, because clothing, you could say the same thing, but I don't like focus when it's like the only way for customers to return is to add 1 million more SKUs because it just gets so difficult with trying to maintain that.
Okay.
All the money you have to invest in inventory and SKUs that don't sell, all that stuff. So I like to keep SKUs low and still have the retention. So, like typically what falls in that category, supplements, beauty, fitness, health, stuff like that.
Okay.
Obviously, there's more things applicable, but point being, build a product that has the ability for customers to return, ideally month over month.
Yeah. Okay. So you've built many brands, many successful brands, but also businesses as well.
Yeah.
What would you say is the difference between brand and business?
A brand and or maybe you mean a brand and just like an e-commerce product.
Yeah. Just like when someone says I'm building brand, I mean, you're an agency, right? We focus on brand building as well. And I feel there's a difference between trying to build a business and trying to build a brand. I feel brand is more based around community, based around feeling, based around emotion. Business is more so service, dollars. That's what I think, right? But I would love your input on that.
Yeah. But like even in agency, it's like you're still, a lot of things that I associate with like brand, which is like, investment in creative and the aesthetic and all that. It's like, well, at the end of the day, it's like what I said about retention of customers and relationships and all that stuff is like equally as important in business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if it's a brand, even if it's just a store or a restaurant or whatever,
Yeah.
like, right? If you don't provide customers a great experience,
It's true.
they can't return, then the business can't grow.
Yeah.
So it's like, I guess it's like ultimately everyone should just strive to be a brand.
Of course.
I guess in that aspect.
That's actually something that a lot of our focus goes to brand building and the creative that goes behind it. That's kind of a specialty at our agency. So we always kind of have this conversation or, let's say debates maybe with people. And because I think a lot of times, especially in the e-com world, like you said, right? Like people come in, they're like, yeah, I'm selling this box. This is what the box does. Let's just start running fucking Google, Facebook ads on it. Let's start pumping ads. And then it's kind of a little bit what you said, right? Like, sure, maybe someone sees that ad, clicks in, maybe buys it, maybe doesn't buy it. But your content sucks. You got no community on IG, on TikTok, right? No creative going out, right? And I think that's kind of the miss where people get confused, right? Especially in the e-com world. They're just like, yeah, bro, I can just pump ads and I'm fucking good to go. And yeah, maybe that works for a year, 6 months, a year and a half. but it's not long term.
But
right?
I say that, and that's what I was saying before, is that I don't even consider that a business.
Yeah.
Fair. Okay.
You're not building a business if you're doing that.
Yeah.
True.
Because it's too short term.
Yeah.
You're
It's
just
too short.
trying to-
like that's what I mentioned before.
It's
It's like
quick money.
that's
like-
going to eventually stop working.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not a business to me,
Yeah.
you know?
Do you guys do a lot of that at your agency? Do you guys focus a lot on the creative and that organic stuff? Like, is that a
Yeah.
big
So
focus?
a huge, well, we're more focused on paid.
Yeah.
Obviously, we do organic as well, but the biggest, most important part of paid is creative.
Yeah.
So for all of our clients, we do creative strategy. We have, dozens of creative editors in house. We're thinking of all what we also have the ability to source influencers, then get the content, think of the creative strategy, the angles, develop the landing pages. So everything A to Z when it comes to that. Because, at the end of the day, like you mentioned, creative is the most important thing for organic, for community building, for ads, for everything.
Mm-hmm.
So especially now, like we mentioned, it's harder than ever. Creative wins.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
True. I'm curious now. How do you guys promote yourselves? How do you promote the agency? Is it all word of mouth? Are you guys big on social? Do you guys do you have a CRM for that, like lead gen for the actual agency itself?
Yeah, so we have we definitely are active on social, Twitter and Instagram mainly. We just put someone in our company to be head of content for the agency.
Right on.
So now he's working with all LinkedIn as well. He's working with me, my brother's my co-founder, our other department heads on now trying to bolster them on helping them build their personal brand, because
Cool.
that's essentially an extension of the agency. Putting our leaders and empowering them to become thought leaders will eventually, help the agency because they're the leaders in the agency. So that's a big focus in the process of building a podcast, working on our newsletter, et cetera. That's on the organic side. A huge focus for us is partnerships. So it's like, thinking who has the clients that we might have.
Yeah.
All the different apps in the Shopify ecosystem. So, the big companies, the Klaviyo, Attentive. We have a great partnership with a bunch of others like Rebuy, Clearco, just tons of these apps.
Sweet.
Because we also bring our customers to them. So it's very mutually beneficial in that aspect.
Cool.
Happy customers, right? Because
Yeah.
it's just like I mentioned before with the platform. Happy customers will bring other happy customers.
Yeah, it's true.
Brand owners have friends that are brand owners.
Mm-hmm.
They talk. They want to know what's working for you, and they want the same thing.
Yeah.
So that's a great source of customers. Same thing, customers who bring us, we give them recurring revenue on that as well. So they're incentivized to do so. And finally, we have a sales team that does outbound. So we have SDRs
Cool.
who are prospecting ideal clients all day on all the different platforms.
Right
Beauty.
on.
What's your role like for the company right now? Like, what's your day to day?
I'm the CEO, so I am focused on sales, management of our department leaders, and still overseeing the marketing.
Mhm.
And quality controlling that, and still giving strategy for our key clients, stuff
Yeah.
like that. So that's really what my day to day looks like.
Beauty. How do you stay level? How do you stay balanced as an entrepreneur? Because it gets hectic,
don't know.
and you don't know.
No, I'm kidding. How I stay balanced, everything is on my Google Calendar.
Yeah.
I use ClickUp,
Nice.
which is my project management tool. So I try to put everything there or in my notes. So it's like, if I don't put it on paper,
Yeah.
I'm going to forget about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I try to tell that to my team every time. It's like every phone call you have internally, externally, write down notes because you're going to forget.
Yep.
I forget. Everyone forgets. There's so much shit going on.
Mhm.
Everyone's constantly on to the next thing. I try to write everything down. Most importantly, fitness for me is cruise fitness and diet. If
Yeah.
I am not maintaining a healthy diet and working out regularly, I feel awful. I then, it affects my mental state, my emotional state, bleeds into work, personal. So fitness and diet are like ultimately two most important things for me.
I
it's
actually
hard
want
to
to kick it.
maintain.
Yeah, first of all, I agree with you. Staying mentally fit, physically fit is massive for somebody, in a leadership position. So I totally agree with you on that. But I actually want to go back on something you said that I really liked. When I had asked you how you guys were promoting the agency. And you said like truly it was the first thing you said was my favorite thing was personal brand for yourself, your brother, like your leaders, right? That's something that myself and Ernesto have focused on since day one of our agency. And I would say truthfully, because we've actually never spent $1 on sales from paid ads or a sales team. We've never done any of that. It has been strictly organic. Maybe we should start spending
Partnerships and stuff. Though,
partnerships and stuff, but it's been very organic. And a lot of our clients have come just from seeing us, our personal brands, and then getting kind of fed through to the agency from let's say our socials. And that's been massive because, again, people want to work with people they like. People want to work with people that they want to be like, right? People want to work with people who are in a position that they want to get to. So I want to ask you, in terms of promoting yourself on your personal socials and, and your other leaders doing the same thing, what are some things you guys are doing, or what are some things you would recommend to somebody who is trying to kind of build up their personal brand to help their business?
I think that number one, your network is crucial, and having people that want to see you win, because it's like a network effect. They're helping you push your content, they're supporting you, they're putting your stuff in front of other people, stuff like that. And I've been building my network for a decade, and that's why I constantly get. I gave you guys a quick story on all my background. I've worn so many different hats. I've been in so many different communities. I've like experienced all these different like walks of life, that now it's like my network is like so all over the place in a sense. So I get a lot of people that help me. And I think that's very important, because it's like, if you don't have those people, then you can post on social all you want. No one's ever going to give a shit. It's very hard to get from 0 to 1. So that's number one. Number two, I think that honestly, LinkedIn is like the biggest opportunity for business related personal growth. Yeah. Because it's like, true. It has the algorithm of TikTok, where it makes it super easy to go viral if people are just liking and commenting. And there's just not that much competition. Like there's not many people who are still investing on LinkedIn. We talked about this
with Swish as well.
But everyone is on LinkedIn.
Yeah. So true.
It might not be posting and shit, but like people are there.
Yeah.
So there's just like such minimal competition of people who are actually investing time and focus into LinkedIn.
So true.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So I highly, highly encourage, if you're involved in business or even not, you see people post personal stuff all the time, and it goes viral, gets millions of likes.
Yeah.
You can't do that on Twitter.
Yeah.
And even on TikTok, it's like there's a lot more competition now. So it's like the bar is so freaking low on TikTok, and just understanding what the content that works there, I would guarantee if you're consistent about it, you can see tons of traction, get tons of leads, make really interesting relationships, stuff like that. So I highly encourage people to invest there. Also, Twitter, has all these communities of thought leaders in essentially every space. Investing a lot of time and focus and attention into growing your personal brand there can also take you a really long way and open up tons of doors. So I would say Twitter and LinkedIn have been like the two most pivotal things for me in terms of bringing in new leads.
Yeah.
Honestly, Twitter is probably number one.
Wow.
Fuck. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah. And then Instagram, like I would love to focus more on building my personal brand there. It's also the highest bar, I think, because you have to create video content typically. In order to make it pretty meaningful. So that just adds a huge layer. And I just haven't gone that far yet. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, you got the IG name, so you're all good to go.
Yo, no one's ever said Twitter, on this podcast.
No one's ever said Twitter,
That's insane.
So I like that.
Me too.
But like, I want to just go back to LinkedIn. Like, you fucking nailed it. There is so many people and such little content.
Yeah.
Right? And
they're all watching, though. They're all watching.
Well, everyone's watching, right? And like you said, the bar is so low. You can like post a picture and it goes viral, right? Like something that like even just recycling. If you're creating content for Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, whatever the case may be, you just post it there. Like it's just another couple clicks. You know what I mean?
Twitter's interesting. I'm definitely gonna hit you up with some. I need some advice with Twitter because I gotta grow that shit.
Yeah, you're loving Twitter now, eh?
I like it. I'm just not growing on it.
The big thing on Twitter that's like the hottest thing the last like 12 months, and how people are growing their personal brands like 100,000 followers plus in 6 to 12 months is Twitter Threads.
Threads, okay, I've been seeing
Threads
this.
It's like the hack to growth right now.
So can you break that down for anyone listening? What is a Twitter thread, and what do you mean by that?
A Twitter thread is just like, Twitter obviously has, you can only have so many characters. So it's like a clickbaity version of presenting new information.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the cool thing, it doesn't even have to be about you or what your experience. It can be, but you could just tell stories on other entrepreneurs, other things, other lessons learned, and naturally people want to follow because they're like, oh, this guy is doing a lot of research and giving me new information. This is someone I want to follow.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you're putting your own experience into it, that works as well. So it could be your own stories, what you've learned, what you've learned from other people as entrepreneurs, just interesting stories about other entrepreneurs. Like, Elon Musk is I guarantee you didn't know these 5 things
About
takeaways
Elon
And then it's
Musk.
just
about
boom,
him
boom,
on
boom.
leadership.
Yeah.
Yes. It's
Yeah.
so okay. That's
We actually been
crazy.
sharing that shit to each other.
I've been sharing those threads to him. That's so funny. I've been now more recently following guys who are doing that, where
Exactly.
it's like, I've read so many books, I've read so many articles.
Yeah.
Here are the best,
Yeah,
best
here are the-
12
here are the 12
things.
best-
No, it was like the Warren Buffett one. It
There's
was like
Warren-
9 things Warren Buffett.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
They're
Start
all
following
over.
right away.
That's crazy.
So it's a huge hack on growth.
I'm in the
goes
fucking.
viral.
I'm in the matrix. I'm not even taking it in.
Yeah.
That's
See?
crazy.
That's insane.
Wow.
I want to ask
Like
you.
that.
So you made it out to Miami
Yeah.
about a year ago. You said, right?
Yeah.
Why did you make the move, and how's it been so far? Why Miami?
So number one, I always, I was born and raised in New Jersey, went to college in New Jersey. After college, stayed in New Jersey. So my whole life I lived in New Jersey. When I was very young, I always told myself, there's no fucking way I'm living in New Jersey forever. And it's exactly what my life turned into. So, I didn't want to go to a school in New Jersey, but I got a full scholarship and a few other things. So I stayed in New Jersey. Then I was about to move to LA, but then I got a serious girlfriend, and then I stayed. And then, I was, I guess, 27 already, and I'm like, I'm still in New Jersey. Also, I was always running offices for my companies. I always had either warehouses or offices. Everyone would come in every day. I had to run the office.
Yeah.
My companies weren't just going. I can't just be like, peace, guys. Like I'm
Yeah.
in Miami.
Later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has cheap taxes, right? You can't just do that. Can't do that. So during COVID was the very first time where I noticed I had kind of like the aha moment. I'm like, I'm going to the office every day. No one's here.
Yeah.
There's no office.
Mhm.
And I noticed in Miami, it's like an actual opportunity because there was a huge tech movement during COVID, as I'm sure you guys know.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can be one of the early adopters of this and really be in this kind of euphoric moment that's going on right now in Miami. Obviously, everything else, like it was getting dark at 4 p.m. in New Jersey,
Yeah.
freezing freaking
Cold.
cold.
Yeah.
Can't go to the gym. I feel like my network really never grew when I like in person in New Jersey. Like I wasn't meeting interesting people. And obviously the taxes are pretty great too.
Yeah.
So I was like, all those things, I'm like, I need to get down there and at least give it a shot.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks, found a condo, moved down. And second I moved, I'm like, I'm in love. This is freaking awesome.
I'm
And I
never
was so
leaving.
happy.
Yeah.
And everyone told me, they're like, you just look so happy, so much happier
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Everyone,
I mean,
everyone
people
told me
saying that
the
to
first
us. We
month.
only been here for 3 weeks,
Yeah.
bro. It's crazy. Yeah. I mean,
There's something different
something-
about the
it's the
fucking
air, bro.
Florida, Miami.
It's
People
the air.
everyone I would talk to, like, you look so much happier. And I was like, thanks. I think
Yeah.
I'm pretty
fucking
happy.
glowing. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
how did you set yourself up there, like in New Jersey? How did you set up your team and all that to be able to do this?
So we worked on Slack since day one, so it was easy in communication there.
Okay.
But getting your communications dialed in is super important. So project management, ClickUp, our whole
Yeah.
company uses, Google Drive. So really just organization of and having and being able to communicate and having
Yeah.
an open line is really how we were able to do it and do it quickly. And we rapidly scaled during COVID as well. Our first
Yeah.
year we went from like 20 to 80 people.
Wow. I said 80 people.
Damn.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Crazy.
So, well, we were up to 90, like I mentioned, but that was the first year during COVID. Anyways, so yeah, it was really just having great people on our team that can help do that on
Yeah.
the operational side because I'm not the most organized person.
Did you have to go get some more managerial roles in
Yeah,
there?
yeah.
Definitely.
So having great department heads and
Of
people
course.
focused on just operations.
Okay, so when you get out here now, are you still just focused on your agency, or are you looking for different opportunities out here?
So I have enough in front of me right now where I'm not looking for new opportunities.
Okay. That's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair, bro.
I'm trying to focus on building what I already have.
Yeah.
So the agency, I have Rap TV,
which is crazy.
which is a huge opportunity.
Yeah.
That's where I want to focus a lot more time into building that. I'm actually launching a new gut health brand in under a week.
Nice.
We're raising $1 million for it.
Attaboy.
So it's
Unreal.
first
Congrats,
time.
man.
Thank you. We have a call with a huge like celebrity VC today. Right after this, I'm freaking pumped for.
Oh, right on. Okay.
I manage a real estate portfolio too. I have 10 properties, commercial,
Right on.
residential. So I have a lot of shit that I'm already doing. I'm like, I can't take more. I need to focus.
Yeah, you gotta chill out, bro. Straight up.
Yeah.
That's dope, though.
So-
Are you into like are you into crypto? Are you into NFTs? Are you into that world?
No,
No, fuck it.
Better, honestly,
Just
stay
no
out.
time?
It's too much stress.
I got heavily involved in crypto in 2016, 2017, and just fully YOLO'd. And when my portfolio went down like 95%,
Oh my
I was
God.
like,
Yeah.
just felt awful.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
done. I have a question. When you're building these businesses, and obviously you have a lot of things in front of you, like you said, Rat TV, the agency, this new health brand that you're working on. Are you when you're building it, are you looking for an exit, or like, you know what I mean? Like, like when you're thinking ahead, are you saying, okay, this is something I'm going to exit on eventually? Is the goal to take this thing public? Like, do you ever think that far ahead when you're kind of launching a brand? Or
Yeah, I can't ever see myself wanting to take a company public, to be honest.
Okay,
Just like
it's a lot of
for
stress.
so many reasons.
Yeah,
It's just like, I'd rather get a win than, a big win than like a grand slam. And it's like how I see taking companies public. Like, if the company's worth $1 billion privately, like, yeah, it's pretty fine with me. I don't need a $100 billion company.
Yeah.
I don't need a $10 billion company. I don't even need $1 billion. You 500 million, fine with me.
yeah.
So honestly, I have no aspirations to take a company public right now, at least where I'm at mentally.
Yeah.
But for sure, when you start a company, the goal is to always sell it eventually.
Yeah.
For me, I'm not one of those people that's typically like, I can see myself running this business for 60 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems pretty boring.
Yeah. No, the reason I'm asking is we always have these types of conversations, right? When you first, I feel like for us, especially when we started our agency, it was like, yeah, like we're going to grow this thing we're going to be fucking the biggest thing ever, blah, blah, blah. But then as slowly as you grow, right? Like you said, you start to see other opportunities. You start to notice things that you're good at. Things start to come your way. People start to give you some type of offer. So then you start to question, right? Like, okay, how long am I going to be in this business? What's the goal for it? How far are we going to take this thing, right? So that's why I'm asking, because I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs, at least the ones that I know, aren't necessarily thinking about an exit right away. But as they start to build and see the growth and start to have some people kind of circling around, like, oh, okay, true. Maybe an exit does make sense, right?
Yeah.
I definitely always have it in mind, but it's always just like, weighing in, is there more meat on the bone, so to speak?
Mm-hmm.
What is my level of enjoyment, excitement? What else is out there? So it's like, is what I'm doing better than what I could be doing elsewhere?
True.
And what I find is like when I start losing that excitement in day to day and passion, it's like that's when, at least in the past, I've considered, okay, this might be a good time to sell.
Yeah, to exit.
And I'm one of those people too. It's like, obviously, just from my track record, like I love doing new things. I love learning. I love getting excited and passionate about new things. Yeah, I always tell people, like, I get amazed when someone runs one company their whole life.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
Or
No,
works
I
at
feel you.
one job for 40 years.
Yeah.
Kudos and respect to those people, but it's like, it's tough for me to retain. I'm not saying I would recommend, like, some people now leave jobs every 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go nowhere when you do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You literally don't go anywhere.
I feel like
Can't learn.
there's a sweet spot.
There's a
right?
sweet spot.
Yeah.
It's not it's not 6 months. I'm not saying it's a lifetime, but like, definitely putting it like, yeah, if you're just hopping around constantly, and same with a business.
Yeah.
When I see someone that has a new business every freaking day,
Yeah.
it's like that. Those are the people that are never successful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same with
It's true.
employees. They're not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't become a master. You're a master at none.
Yeah.
From employee and entrepreneur level and CEO, whatever. So to answer your question, yeah, I always will build a company that is sellable.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, when you launch a company, like exiting and selling it is always the inspiration.
Yeah.
Building a company that someone wants to buy.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's like you never know where, because your company constantly pivots, things change, you change as a person, your interests change, and if the company's not aligning with kind of you changing in that aspect, then it's like, once again, that's when I find it's time to sell.
And I mean, obviously, because you have put some exits together in the past, what do you look for in an exit? Is it like, you know what I mean? Do you really care who's taking it? Is it strictly a money thing? Like in your past deals, was it straight cash and you moved on? Were you forced to stay? Because we have some friends who have sold on some really massive exits. And part of their deal was, let's say, to continue running the company for the next year and a half, 2 years, whatever. What did those deals look like for you? What you can say, obviously.
Yeah. So I never had a massive exit, I would say. Obviously, the bigger the exit, the more the company's going to want you to stay on for obvious reasons in the team. My exits on the relative scale have been on the smaller side, but still fine. Yeah. Once again, relatively speaking, it's like a large scale, right? It's like zero or even a million, billion, whatever. Yeah. So it's there's definitely I've been put on ranging from earnouts where it's like they want me to stay, earnout, they give you incentive, they give you some money up front. Some have just been okay, cash at the smallest deals, cash at close, done, walk away. And also it depends on the type. So it's like a service business, will obviously want founders to stay on because it's all people. If it's a product business, then it's like if you're outsourcing a lot of things, then it's easy to take that over and they don't need you to stay. So, and because I've had different businesses, it's ranged a lot.
Yeah.
But obviously it's like typically when you want to sell a business, like you don't want to keep working on that.
You want to get the hell out. Yeah.
That's like why you want to sell the business.
Yeah.
So, that's always important to me.
Yeah.
When it
for
comes
sure.
to that.
Well, we have a famous question.
Yeah, I'm going to ask him, man.
Oh, you
I want to
go
ask
ahead.
him.
Okay, you get to ask him.
Does money buy happiness?
I think that once you get to certain levels of money, then there's once again there's diminishing returns on money, on happiness after you hit certain levels.
Okay, what level would you say that is for you?
I think that's like once you can like comfortably be able to do what you want. But that's tough to even say that because like doing what you want changes relatively
for everybody. But for you,
does money buy you happiness?
And
yeah, I mean,
much?
if I didn't have, put it this way, if I didn't have money, I wouldn't be happy.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
No,
right?
that's as straight up as you can
like
say it.
If you don't have money, that there's no, it's very hard to be happy in like a regular society.
Yeah.
You live in like the middle of nowhere, like you're one of these minimalist people, that's fine. Yeah. But if you don't have the bare necessities to live and struggle day to day because you don't have money, then like it's very hard to be happy.
Yeah.
I remember reading years ago, it's obviously no longer this case anymore. It was like they found like the average, this was years ago. I remember when I was in high school, it's like once you hit $75,000 a year in income, like
that's peak happiness.
That's peak happiness, which is obviously inflation, all this shit. Like, I don't know how much.
Yeah, but even if you change that to like, let's say 120, 130, I would still look at that and be like, nah, come on, there's no way.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
I mean, it's tough for me because I'm also one of those people. It's like, to answer your question, no. Like for me personally, it's like money doesn't buy me. Once again, it's like money doesn't buy me happiness, but I like nice things.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, it's very.
And the things that are good are like you get old. That's why money can't fundamentally buy happiness once you have it.
Yeah.
Because the car gets old, the house gets old.
Yeah.
The watch gets old.
Yeah.
Clothes you buy get old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's like, I guess there's still some people like very materialistic. But the thing is, like I said, I like nice things, but things get old. So therefore, it's like it's ever changing. Like it's like that doesn't make me happy, but I just like enjoy to have it.
I think for guys like us who are entrepreneurs who are trying to always push, push the barrier, push the market. Money is a like it's sort of like the goalpost. It's something that it's the way that we basically see how successful we are, right? So like you said, as an entrepreneur, you're always looking to learn, you're always looking to grow new things. You love starting, building, scaling, right? And the way that you kind of mark success in doing those things is how much money the business is making,
It's like
right?
a scoreboard,
it's the scoreboard,
yeah.
right? So
But
I
I
guess.
also I've realized 'cause I've made money in many different ways, and certain things of how I've made money have made me feel more fulfilled than others.
For sure,
Even businesses
100%.
I run.
How you make
So
it,
I used to
right?
think about that too, I would say exactly what you said. But when I buy a stock, I'm making up numbers and make $1 million off the stock. Like that doesn't bring me any happiness. That
Yeah,
doesn't bring me anything on the
it's true.
scoreboard. I'm
It's
just
true.
like, this is a fucking game I'm playing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Versus
yeah.
like, when I'm like employing people, empowering them, and making $1 million that way, like, I feel that,
Yeah, yeah.
So I found that is also like how you're making money along the way, and the impact you're having on people is satisfying. And the other thing is that it's real. I think it's like what you're like. It's because the thing is like you can have all the money in the world, and if you have nothing that makes you feel fulfilled, and you don't have so you're retired. It's like how do you feel fulfilled day to day? How do you retain
Yes.
excitement? So for me, it's like which is kind of like what you're saying, is that if I'm a very progress oriented person.
Mhm.
So it's like if I'm growing personally, professionally, whatever, physically, then like that's what makes me happy.
Yeah,
Obviously, money goes hand in hand with typically the
those
professional
things.
side.
Yeah,
So, and I don't know. Anyways, I kind of don't even know if I answered the question.
yeah. No. But I think what you're saying. Well, there's two things I can say to that. Is there's a famous clip of what's his name, Mr. 305. What the fuck's his name?
Oh, Pitbull.
Pitbull. He goes. Someone asked him the same question. Does money buy happiness? And he's like, there's all these answers, and everyone always says no. But he's like, I think it does buy happiness. Money buys happiness. You just have to give it away. So I think in terms of what you're saying, where you're like building these businesses and pushing people forward and helping them learn and grow and pay them more, like we were talking about earlier, right? And setting up these the goalposts and moving it up for them. Essentially, you're giving that money away,
Yeah.
right? The business makes
pretty
revenue,
interesting.
and you're giving it away, and that makes you happy, right? I think that's one thing. And then the second thing you were saying, even in terms of like retirement, and like, yeah, you can have all this money, but if you're not doing anything to feel fulfilled, then it doesn't really matter. And I think we saw a great example of that with Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Tom Brady retires, right?
Constantly with athletes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2 months into retirement, 2 fucking months. Guy spent 2 months with his family. He's like, no, I don't think it was that. What I think it was is because he's like, okay, great. I have all the money in the world. I have all these businesses and all these investments. And sure, I'm making, millions probably a fucking day at this point, but he's not fulfilled at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter how much money you get. You got to make sure you're fulfilled. So I think it's a very interesting question. We always love to hear the answers, but I love your answers. And I think I love it even more because I think a lot of our visions align and our goals align. So
Yeah, but I want to.
Another thing that someone told me that I thought was pretty interesting, because it's like super true, is like your volatility band of like money. When you live inside that, there's no emotions there.
yeah,
You just literally don't have emotions. So it's like it could be of your stock portfolio. Like let's say I'm making up numbers. You have $10 million stock portfolio. 1% of that is $100,000. So if anything within that volatility band, like you lose money, like it's like you don't get emotional towards
You're
it.
just
That's like the daily
desensitized, yeah.
volatility.
Yeah.
You're desensitized towards it. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Someone told me, which I was like, wow, that is really true.
yeah.
Um,
It is true.
but anyways, to go back to the thing, like I think that for me, money buys freedom, or the ability to have freedom. For others, money gives them anxiety and ties them up, and they don't have any freedom. So I think it's like the way you live your life, and ultimately what makes you fulfilled. And I think money is a great tool on allowing you to feel fulfilled and doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
But it's not ultimately like the more money you make, the happier you are.
Very true.
Was there ever a moment
That's
in let's say the past 10 years, the past decade of you building brands, that you had this one super fulfilling moment? And if you did, what was it?
One moment.
Probably a million of them, I'm
Yeah,
sure. But
it's tough to do that one.
You don't have
moment.
to do the one, but
I would say the one moment I had where it was like crazy to me, it's always in the beginning. I remember it's like one of the books I read, it's like the good old days, people refer to it as, where you're just struggling, trying to figure it out, da da da. And I remember like I was still in college when my platform, we were already doing $100,000 a day in revenue by the time I graduated.
That's crazy.
And I remember walking to the gym with this moment, and I was actually more scared than anything, because like I was like, you know, I hadn't told my friends or family or really anyone that what I was doing, and I was like, fuck, I'm 21 years old. I'm like, have I peaked in life? No, I'm serious.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I was really honestly scared of that.
Okay.
For a very long time. So it's not necessarily a good thing, but I was like, did I have too much success too young? Because once again, it's like I've mentioned, like what makes me happy is progress and all that other stuff. And I was like, fuck, like how can I outdo this? I'm only 21 years old. I'm still in fucking college.
Yeah.
How can I outdo this? And it was a really big concern for me
For sure. That's
for a long
crazy.
time.
How'd you bounce out of that? How'd you get out of that mindset after?
I guess the mindset was always there until I just started kind of like pushing along and started doing e-commerce and all this other stuff. And I was able to just keep, you know, pushing forward.
Yeah.
Really.
Unreal, man. Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
What a story.
That's fuck. 21 years old, man. Congrats.
If I was doing
Listen,
100K a day at 21, fuck, bro. I don't
Yeah.
know if I'd be here right now, guys. But yo, it was a pleasure to have you straight up, man. It was a crazy story. Obviously super successful. I'm wishing you all the success in the future, man.
Yes.
We'll definitely keep in touch. Pumped for everyone to listen to this. They're going to be super inspired by this.
There's gonna be a lot of value here, man. We
Where can
appreciate
everyone
it.
check you out on socials?
Yes, my Instagram, Dapper, like you guys mentioned.
Yep.
Twitter, I am Dan Snow. If you want to email me, dan@thesnowagency.com. Yeah.
We'll drop them all. We'll drop all the
Yeah,
fucking links
We'll
down
get all the
below.
links in. Damn, man, that's crazy. Super impressive. Listen, as Ernesto said, wishing you all the success in the future. Thank you for coming on. We appreciate you. And we'll fucking keep it moving, bro.
Awesome.
We're
Thanks for
Miami
having me,
boys.
guys.
Yeah,
Great.
no, so
Yeah.
it's good. We're good to go. On that note, guys, if you made it this far, thank you. Love you. Appreciate you guys. Keep liking, keep subscribing, keep doing the fucking duties. You already know what it is. And we'll be back on another episode very soon.
Very soon.
And on that note, we out.